Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back in the world of Crimson Desert, and today I'm going to be going over a handful of early game items and unlocks that you should be picking up early. The items I'm going to be going over in this video is going to give you some pretty solid power for the early game. Right now, for a lot of you, it's probably a little bit on the rougher side, but with some of these items, I'm going to make it so that your experience is much easier. I'm going to be going over recipes that's super crucial early on, a handful of weapons that are going to pretty much overpower everything early on in the game. We're also going to get some key unlocks like companions and things like that, and then finally round out the video giving you some jewelry and accessories that really should help you like tailor your build a little bit more. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's dive right on into the first set of items. Alright, first things first, let's dive into the Palmar pill recipe. For those of you who are not familiar with the Palmar pill, this is a thing that you use to revive yourself so you can continue to do your mission without having to reload at a checkpoint or something and waste a mountain of time. If you look here on the map, this is the Shadow Whisper Caves, and this is very close to where you very first woke up after you got fished out your first battle. And you're going to need to head over here to go and get the Palmar pill recipe. Now, of course, I would highly recommend you pick up the Abyss Nexus nearby, and from there you're just going to make your way to the right, run all the way till you see a crevice in the wall, and once you go through this crevice in the wall, you can just make your way through and you'll see that there's a bunch of stuff in this cave, and on the table there will be 2 Palmar pills as well as the recipe. Pick up the recipe, learn it, and then you'll have access to this. Now, the recipe does require that you pick up herbs, and one of the herbs that you can use for this are marigolds. Now, if you're looking for a great location in which you can do that, I'll show you on map, and as you could probably see in the background footage, I am picking up a lot of marigolds. There's a lot here. You can get probably about 45 in this area, give or take, depending on how much you really want to do it. There's quite a bit all over the place. But you can see here on the map, located not too far from the Hernan Highlands, to the right of it, not too far from the Gold Leaf Field House, there's a massive field here that has a ton of them. Now, as for the water, you can just go to the inn and just buy it from the inn owner. They sell water pretty cheap, and of course you just keep your eyes peeled for plenty of water all around the map. All right, next let's move on to something a little more interesting, and let's look at 2 powerful weapons that you can get super early. One is going to be the Hwando Katana, I think that's how you pronounce it, which has crit rating, stamina, siphon, and attack. And this is a super powerful 2-handed katana early that will pretty much crush most of the first area pretty easily. So this is going to be really nice for you. And also we're going to be going over the Hollow Visage, which is a 1-handed sword as well, which has crit rate, attack speed, and attack 1, which is going to be very good for people who likes that one hand or dual wielding playstyle. I'm going to show you where to find both. Alright, so first things first, for the katana, you're going to be heading over here to the Lioncrest Manor. This is going to be the first place you need to go. We're going to be in this area generally because there's a lot here. So come over here to the Lioncrest Manor, and what you're specifically looking for is the building on the left. It's a little hard to say, but there's 2 buildings. There's a smaller sub building and then the bigger building to the right. Keep in mind, in this area they are protected by guards, so if you run through the door, there's going to be enemies that kind of push you away and they don't want you to go inside. So what you're generally doing is kind of staying high or staying away from all the guards and stuff. Now, just like you see me doing on screen, you're going to basically have to just climb through the windows. The controls are very weird, so you kind of have to position yourself really under it. But once you open it up, go through the window, and what you're looking for is pretty much anything valuable. There's a lot of good things there. You could in theory steal things in the drawers, because sometimes they have pretty good pouches and keys, which can be useful for many other things. But if you're looking for just the big price, you're just gonna head downstairs and look for a chest, and down in that chest you will find pretty much this weapon. It's pretty straightforward and easy to pick up. Now, as for the next weapon, I would highly recommend you come to the town and look for the bell tower. For those of you who are not familiar with this, the bell tower will actually reveal the entire area. So I would just shoot the bell tower or ring it, depending on what you want to do is up to you. And this will actually reveal the entire map, because we have to go extremely far to get the next weapons. It's a little annoying. So once you have revealed the location, I'm just going to show you on the map from here. This is where you probably just ring the bell, and then coming all the way down here, you're looking for this cave here, the Dawn Cave. I know this one is quite the distance, and it's a little annoying, but it is worth it for the 1-handed weapon, and you don't have to fight anything for it, so it's super worth it. So yeah, just head over here, and what you're looking for is this waterfall here, and you're just gonna basically climb all the way up to where you see this little stone edge there, and make your way all the way up. Now, once you get to the waterfall, one thing to keep in mind is, for some reason, waterfalls are dangerous. You just get knocked away. So you're going to need to spec a specific skill that's going to help you. The skill you need to use is called Stab. I'm not really sure what it is on like controller, but for mouse and keyboard you press shift and right click, and this is going to give you like this super armor that helps you move forward. And once you get hit, it's going to propel you forward through the waterfalls you're probably seeing in the background, and that's basically what you need to do. When you do that, it's going to essentially push you through the waterfall, and in the back there's going to be like a lot of different loot like rings and things of the sort, but most importantly in the chest there, that will be the sword, the Visage there. Next, let's talk about a weapon for Oonka really quickly. I actually editing this after I did all the other parts of the video, but I'm going to talk about this part in at the end of the video. But basically I noticed that this weapon here is actually pretty good. Like, this is a pretty good weapon for Oonka. So if you have a mask on, you could in theory liberate this from them and just walk away. You only find $2 for it, as you can see there. Now if you take a look at the actual item itself, so you already saved money on it, but if you actually take a look at the weapon itself, it's 19 base attack with level 3 crit, and it sells for more than you stole it for. Gonna take a little bit of a reputation hit, but if you're looking for something for Oonka that's super early, because I don't think anyone talked about this weapon, at least not from what I've seen, this weapon is pretty solid. Alright, next let's go over a handful of accessories that you can use to kind of tailor your build depending on how you want your build to work out. So these are going to be a handful of them. We're going to go over the finely crafted gold necklace, which will give you crit rate. The Oath of Darkness, when this is upgraded, is going to give you like HP and stuff. The Engraved Golden Ring, this is going to give you MS. And then finally we have the Saint necklace, which can be in play. You'll have to swap between the other necklace, which will give you defense and it gives you vitality. I think vitality is for like stamina or something like that. So you'll have some options you'll have to swap between to, do what you want. But let's go over where to find these. So first we're going to go over this hillside manor. This one's going to have the stamina necklace in it. As you can see here, when you walk up to them, these guys throw you to the ground. They're like kind of annoying. So what you're going to look for is just windows. As you can see here, there's a lot of open windows and you can just simply climb up that window there. That's kind of the window I went through. And then we're going to go to like different puzzles. And once you're inside, you're just going to make your way through this door here. Go all the way to the back here and go through this door. And then you're going to run into this puzzle here. And I'll try to explain this puzzle because there's going to be a second one so that you understand it. So the concept of the puzzle is simple. What you're doing is you'll see these like little bars. There's 5 bars. And the way the bars work is when you activate the knob on the far right side, it will push the bars up, right? So what you're trying to accomplish is the top half that's like a certain color. You want that to be in the top half, and then the bottom half, which is like the brownish color, you want it to be in the brownish color part of the picture, if that makes sense. And so there's a line in the middle that represents like the midpoint. And basically when you press the button, it pushes those things upwards, and you want that line to align through the middle so that you can unlock it. The bottom parts, like when you turn the knobs to like change it, what you're doing is you're increasing the power of the spring to push them upwards. So if you activate the button on the right and then you push it and the things go upwards, but they're not past that point, you need to press it lower to push the springs higher, right? Because if the spring's lower, it's going to push higher. If the spring's higher, it's not going to have as much force and push it forward. And that's basically what you're doing. You're just activating the button, seeing if the springs push them high enough that it hits that midpoint, and then you're just adjusting as it goes. I hope that makes sense. The next location you should go to is right here. This house here. Not really sure what it's called, but just come here. This one is pretty nice. They don't like push you to the ground or anything. It's called the Blue Mount Manor. Yeah, so just come to the Blue Mount Manor. Just head upstairs and then through this secondary door here, you will see another puzzle, and this is the owl puzzle. The owl puzzle is pretty simple. Basically, the first one is going to move all 3 of them. The first 3, like the first one that you click will move the first 3. The second one will move the second 2. The third one will move itself, and then the last one will move the first and the last one. So the important thing for this one is just mainly to align the first and the last one, just so they're more aligned. The next 2 are pretty easy to get in their own individual space, but yeah, the first and the last one just needs to be aligned for the most part, and this one should be fairly easy to unlock. The next manor we're going to be going to is this one here, and this one is also pretty straightforward to get into. You can just climb up here and just walk through the door. So this one's much easier than the other ones. It's not super annoying. When you open the door, you'll basically come here, And this will be a similar puzzle to the one we previously talked about, where you have to kind of, align the line so it springs it up. Pretty much the same premise. You'll get another accessory here that's pretty valuable. Finally, coming back to the Lioncrest Manor where you got the katana, just come over here. The way the game works is you don't actually get in trouble going into this place. It's not like you're trespassing. It's just they don't let you walk in. You just got to climb through, but it actually has no consequences. It's really weird. But anyway, you're just going to come over here and do this puzzle. This puzzle is going to give you access to another one of the accessories. This one's pretty straightforward as well. You just basically align the pictures, like a picture game we used to play in our like grade schools. So yeah, just align the picture and open it up. And I would even argue it's worth looking throughout this area in general. There's like a lot of valuable things. Like for example, here there is a book that you can pick up, and this will give you some recipes and stuff for two-handed weapons and stuff. And again, there's just like a lot of valuable things in here. Just don't overdo it, because again, if you still think you're gonna lose reputation, so take it a little easy. And that's pretty much all the items that are kind of important for the most part, especially for like accessories and stuff here. Finally, I wanted to end this video off by just showing you a few more vendors and companions that can be helpful. First off, let's talk about the companion, because the companion is super nice. What it does is it makes it so you can just pick up items after you drop them. The caveat to this is they will pick up pretty much every single thing. So if you don't have a lot of inventory space, which I'm assuming most don't, you're gonna have a hard time managing. So just keep that in mind. Try to keep your inventory a little bit more on the cleaner side if you can, but the pet will make it much easier. So they'll just pick up everything. So how you would do it is just go to the town. I like Hernan Castle. I think it's pretty straightforward. And I find that the white dog tends to be the best dog because it always just spawns there. It's always there. Like the black dog is cool, and I would prefer to have the black dog, but he only comes out at like after 7 p.m. and it's like much easier to see the white dog. He's way more consistent. Anyway, whatever dog you choose to go with, what you're looking to do is just interact with the dog. There's only like 6 or 7 instances that you can interact with the dog, so like 6 or 7 interactions a day before it resets, or before it doesn't necessarily give you any like relationship contribution. So you need to be kind of careful on what you do. But what I do is, typically food is your best bet. You can feed them 3 times a day. The higher quality the food, the higher point on return that you get. So let's say you go cook a meat-based meal, because dogs like meat and cats like fish and stuff. But if you get like a beef-based meal that's like higher quality and you give it to them, you'll get like 20 points versus like rough meat, which will give them 10. And petting, which will give 5. So if you really want to expedite this, you're gonna give them better quality foods. You can get them done relatively fast. All right, finally ending this video out, going over to the main Hernandian castle. Just come over here, as you can see where my character is standing, and come through this door here. And this will be a nice little vendor for anyone who's looking for armor. I did not know this vendor existed until like a couple hours ago. Didn't know where he was. But yeah, anyway, talk to this guy, shop with him, and he will give you basically the ability to buy some pretty solid armor depending on your whatever these tokens are called. I don't know what they're called, but these contribution tokens, essentially, from just like playing the game. And they will be some pretty solid armor upgrades. As you can see here, this is like a +2 on defense. It's not that much more because I'm using the Bolton already, but this is like a 8. Your base is like a 3, so you get like way more than like 100% defense increase from a lot of these pieces compared to if you're using normal armor or you bought from the vendor. But yeah, this is really solid stuff, and then you can resell them and buy this other stuff for your later on. So and there you have it, guys. Those are some of the best early game items and unlocks you should definitely be picking up in Crimson Desert early. Game's already pretty tough, so having a little bit of extra like items and stuff actually goes a long way. Let me know down in the comments if there's any items or cool things I may have missed. I'm still learning the game myself, so anything that you find could really help me or a lot of players out. If you enjoyed any of the content you saw here today, make sure to leave me a like as well as subscribe. We're still trying to reach that hefty goal of 100,000 subs by the end of the year. And considering that you're going to be playing a lot of action RPGs anyway, you're in the right place to enjoy the content. As always, I do appreciate you guys stopping by the channel and check out the content. And just like that, guys, I'll see you in the next one very soon.